So something I see is when someone hasn't really taught before, and especially it's easy to fall into the trap doing this practice teachers because you're all good snowboarders. You need to demonstrate to the evaluator in your level 1 that you're happy to let people practice and like try enough to be able to like consolidate the skills that you're trying to teach. So a lot of problems I have with people in exams is they'll be like, great, I'm going to do a side slip here. This is how you do it. Great explanation, great demo. And then the student comes like 3 feet and they're like, that was amazing. Let's move on to the next step. So what we want is to like have enough travel on any given maneuver to show that you're comfortable letting your student just go off and practice rather than just like rushing them through the progression. So I'm just going to highlight that in my lesson today. If your students don't have the time to do that, they might like be quite athletic and a little bit like well balanced just from another sport. But if you do rush them through, it's going to get to a point where all of these like micro problems that they have that you could have maybe addressed just through a little bit more practice kind of on each other. And then they turn into like, maybe you still teach them how to turn, but they turn into a bit of a janky, twitchy snowboarder instead of like a smooth, confident, stable snowboarder. So giving your students time to practice is really important. Even if you feel like it's a little bit dry, I can promise you someone learning to snowboard for the first time will really feel it's exciting. Learning side slips, it's a new thing, and they're quite happy to spend like half an hour to an hour just zigzagging on their heel edge if that's what they need to make sure that they've got it like down pat. And all you need to do is like provide like positive reinforcement and like adjustments where need be. Can anyone remind me the progression of toe side control? Has anyone got their little piece of paper on them?
Yeah, the gas pedal and the toe drive.
Yeah, gas pedal but for toe edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a slightly different explanation, but yeah, similar idea, a static for sure. Kieran?
Then side slipping down.
Yeah, one-footed.
One-footed.
What do we do after that?
Drifting, one-footed.
One-footed drift.
And then traverse.
One-footed traverse. Yep.
And then the other toe in.
Yep.
And do the same thing.
Nearly. It goes from pendulum and then to power pendulum.
Oh yeah.
But basically the same thing.
Okay.
Do we know the difference between pendulum and power pendulum?
One you.
Nope.
No, you go. I actually have no idea.
Pendulum is just going left and right, and power pendulum is you go left, keep going. I'm not explaining it very well, but like you keep going and then you go backwards, like almost switch. Keep the momentum going.
You're going around the rocks, you're almost turning it up the hill.
Yeah, so the easiest way to show this is to draw it in snow, right? This is pendulum. It's just like a slidey zigzag down the hill. Power pendulum is a little bit more skiddy and using your side cut. So power pendulum is a little bit more like this. Because what we're trying to illustrate when we're doing power pendulum is that as the speed increases, we can gently increase our edge angle. So it's encouraging people to steer the board a little bit back up the hill using a little bit more refined movements. It's something that some instructors don't teach very often. It's like the bread and butter of my beginner progression, because I feel like if you can get someone, spend like the extra 20 minutes to get someone quite good at it, as soon as you get them turning, they're like, oh, this is easy, because they've already refined their edge control a little bit with some steering. So I think it's a pretty important one. Yeah, I think we covered it. So yeah, one-footed static, one-footed side slip, one-footed drift, one-footed traverse, track 2 feet in, pendulum, power pendulum, back. You can turn up the lights. Yes, well, I think we'll just start the video. So, I'm kind of going to run like a practice lesson now. I'm going to sort of stop being a trainer and be an instructor. You guys are going to be my students. And I'd just like you to just notice that when I'm getting you guys to try stuff, I give you like enough space to actually practice rather than just being like, yep, that was great, we're done. Into the lesson. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Dave. going to do some sliding around today. You guys have told me you got pretty good on your heel edge in your last lesson, and now we're going to learn how to do the same thing on our toe edge. Toe edge is what's going to make us turn in the opposite direction. If you're left foot forwards, it's going to be a right-hand turn. If you're right foot forwards, it's going to eventually be a left-hand turn. But for now, we're going to try and create a little bit of a ability to stop and move left and right in both directions, so that you can at least dodge stuff when you're on your toe edge, whether it's left or right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys. I'm going to come over here. You guys spin around so your chest is facing upwards. Awesome. I'm going to do this down the hill, but you guys be able to see me, I guess. So when we're on our toe edge, two really important things to remember. Other than all the stuff we learned on our heel edge, we still want to have an equal weight over both feet. We still want to be very gentle and upright in our movements. On the toe edge, the first thing I want to think about is I want to be balanced on the ball of my foot. So if we can all take a step forwards over our toe edge. So I'm balanced on the ball of my foot. Second most important thing is my hips need to be over my toe edge. You're going to really feel the urge to pull your hips back. You keep your hips over your toe edge, head up, and it's going to be a pretty good position to stand in. And then if we want to increase our grip and come to a stop, we're just going to push our shin forward into the front of our boots very gently. You'll feel like the heel is lifting up. It's really good. That's how we're going to come to a stop. If we want to start going again, all we're going to do is gently stand up. You're going to feel your heel start to lower. As soon as you feel the board start to slide backwards, that's when you're just going to stay where you are and let it slide backwards behind you. Does that make sense so far? Sweet. Let me show you on the move. So we're going to go like maybe two at a time here if you guys give each other a little bit. I like to start with maybe a little bit of my free foot off the snowboard, just to give me that extra bit of grip. I'm balanced on the balls of my feet in front of my boots, so I'm not going anywhere. My head's up. All I need to do is stand up very gently and I'll start making it. Then all I did was squeeze my shins very gently forward to come to a stop. Show you again.
Starting to do toe edge.
Please come into the left. Sorry, mate. So if you feel like you're directing in one direction, it's probably not quite centered. You have to really make sure that firstly the board is like fully across the hill. Feel that center.
Try doing
before you
the
start
switch.
to go, and then as soon as you feel like you've got an equal weight over both feet,
Look at how I'm doing toe edge.
So Iggy, like, started off a little bit wonky and then got quite smooth towards the end. I'd like you to just for now focus on not looking at your feet, and then make sure that something that really helps me is I really focus on getting the ball of my foot right over the top of the edge, and then it's easier to get a little bit of purchase on that right foot. I understand like sometimes it feels like it wants to slide down the hill, right? So if you can get the ball of the foot right over the edge next to the binding, you'll find that bite is a little bit easier. Jack, that was much better. We stopped looking at our feet, it became quite smooth. So what you can do now is practice doing this a little bit more, and you can practice like sliding fast, sliding slow, stopping when you want. Do it like sporadically to see if you can change speed and stop when you feel like it. And then we're going to do that down maybe like halfway between you and the snowboarder with the white helmet. Sorry, Alex, good sense of position. Definitely looking at your feet a lot. As soon as you look down, the hips do this, and then it becomes hard to control. So think about squeezing the shoulder blades together. Head up, trust your ankles to do the work for you. Same for you, Luke. Look straight down at your feet. As soon as you do that, all the grip leaves our toe edge because our hips are no longer over the edge. Josie, very good. Like very upright, looking up the hill. Very refined ankle movement. You stayed like a very consistent centered speed all the way down there. So what I'd like you to do for the next little try, same as Jack, experiment with like speeding up, slowing down, stopping when you want rather than when you like have to, just so we can build a little bit of versatility. Same for you as well, Kieran. Like very good body position, very centered, very consistent speed. If anything, I just say relax. Sometimes you look a little bit tense.
I'm a bit not used to it being so wide.
Yeah, so you just see if you can like, as you slide, just breathe out. Just try and like, toe side position is kind of like, you know, you've had your Christmas dinner and you're like feeling a bit full and you kind of like, and then if you just like relax into it, the board will just do most of the work for you. But if we go into maybe the undercooked Christmas dinner on the toilet position, where we're like, then maybe things go a bit worse. That's when we collapse the heel edge. So I'll give you one more demonstration. If you got any feedback, look for it in mine, and then we'll just try one more time.
To infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
I don't have to do very much, right? Just stop and go. And like most things in snowboarding, the more I move, the more likely I am to knock myself over. If you can do it by making small movements, then it's going to be more safe. So we'll give it a go. Cool, everyone can stop and go, that's really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit of a change of direction. The reason why we want to do this is, just like on the heel edge, we want to be able to dodge people when we're going down the hill on our toe edge. Bears and cliffs and trees and all that good stuff. So, the way we're going to do this, just like on the heel edge, is we're going to change direction by turning our hips. So, changing direction on the toe edge is a little bit more intuitive than on the heel edge. If I'm, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start to slide just like I was before. If I want to go to the left, I'm going to gently rotate my belly button or the zipper of my jacket to point towards these trees. The board will start to do this. Once I'm pointed in the direction that I'd like to slide, I'm just going to drift on in that direction. When I want to slow down, I'm going to point my belly button back up towards the sign over there. the back of that sign, and I'm just going to push my shins into the front of my boots. So let's maybe just all shimmy a little bit over to the right, just so we've got some room to go left. Be a bit flat. There we go. So it's going to look something like this. That's right. Oh, it might be a bit flat. Using the ankle. So we can go to the left, go out of room, probably go to the right. Same principle. I'm going to start to slide my go backwards by gently standing up. When I'd like to change direction, I'm going to gently rotate my belly button to the right. The board's going to point down towards that yellow pole or Leo over there. Once I'm pointed in the direction I'd like to slide, I'm going to start drifting to the left. That's right, sorry. When I want to slow down, I turn my belly button to point back up and push my shins forward. Except this time, now we can go to the left and the right. Maybe we're going to start drifting left and right all the way down the hill and have a little bit of practice. If I see anything crazy going on, I'll give you a little bit of feedback, but this will give you the opportunity to go and practice this a little bit more. So it's just kind of... Oh, and look up here before you go, so it's pretty important. I'm just going to step out of teacher mode for a second and just go into trainer mode very briefly. Just say, like, with this one, like, notice mine was like very side slippy, right? I was like very like smearing the snow down the hill in quite a short width. Some of you guys were like nearly doing a bit of like more of a traversing movement there, which is the next step that are a little bit trickier for students to get. So just make sure when you're doing this one, it's not too traversy across the hill. I'll show you one more. I'll show you the difference. I'll do a couple of the drift and then a couple of the traverse. The drift should be like very skidding very gently to the right, and very gently to the left, and then the traverse. More like this. There's my part. This guy.
Bye.